Sir,
हाँ सर.
please start.
Okay.
In time is.
Yes, we have with us Dr. Rakesh. He is assistant professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering and IT Uttarakhand. Currently, he is discharged the duty of assistant dean from 2020 June onwards. Dr. Rakesh has also served as head of department in the same, and he has authored 36 articles published in Repute International Journal and Conference. He is also coordinator of Design Innovation Center, NIT Uttarakhand. He has added one book on processing of green composite and contribute 7 book chapters. Heartily welcome to you, sir. Now I request you to please share your valuable knowledge on design thinking methodology. Thank you, sir. Please may
Thank you,
proceed.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Nayak, sir. So, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Nayak for giving me the opportunity to not present, but discuss an idea about the design thinking. So, and I also thank that is the Atal Academy for giving this wonderful opportunity to all over the India. They are conducting so many faculty development program on the different that is the stream. That is, they have defined the 7 or 10 streams, and based upon these themes, they have conducted the so many FDP. I think more than thousands FDP they have conducted all over the India. So I have also conducted this design thinking program in our institute at the NIT Uttarakhand. So I'm able to share this my PPT, sir. Sir, PPT is visible, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visual.
Okay. So I'm talking about the design thinking methodology, and this is the second day of this workshop. So I think all of you have the idea about this design thinking, right? And we are coming to what are the tools and techniques we can use in the design thinking so that we can improve the idea generation or evolution process. So first of all, I would like to ask, anyone can define the design thinking? First of all, what is the design? Anyone can define the design? What is the design basically? Any participant? So basically, this is not a lecture series, right? This is basically, you can say that is the interaction. So whatever you want to give your input, then you can judge better, or you can increase your imagination power better. So anyone please discuss what is the design? Can you have any idea about the design? Then we'll come to the thinking process.
Good morning, sir. Design,
yeah.
So actually design is a plan or a specification for the construction or any plan of an object or system हम लोग जो implement करते हैं वही है.
Yeah, this is the design. So, and what is the thinking process? We can increase our thinking process, thought process, or person's process. We can use it so that we can have the better product or better design. Anything from this till morning to evening, we are talking about always something we have to think about the product, because all we are the same discipline in engineering background. So what we are doing in this, we have talking about the product, right? From till morning to evening, we have the so many products. Can you think how we can change our product? Can we think how we change the living standard? How, even though you are sitting in a room, can we change something in your room so that it looks better? So like this way, this is the process to think, to create, our imagination power on the daily life also, right? This is not only talking about the product. Everywhere, anywhere, we can apply this technique, design thinking, and we can change the situation, we can change the product, we can change the scenario, right? So that it looks better. So that is the purpose of design thinking. So somehow this is the second day of this program. So I will come to definition of this design process. So what is this design? Basically, design is not just about physical objects, right? This is not only the physical object. It gives me the process also. So see here, the concept of design in modern use include abstract artifacts such as software, system, or strategy, whatever we are using to create the product, right? So in this way, apart from this, we can extend this our own working on changes in the physical space to working on changes in the over time. It will change. Suppose this is the example I'm taking about that all of you know have using this mobile phone. Every month, everywhere you can say that is every 6 months or 3 months, the design, whatever apps is there, that is going to change. What is this? Means we are changing our whatever the physical object is there, whatever software is there, that is totally changing from the time to time, right? And we are talking about the TV. Also, you can see earlier one, that is the TV, how it is tube based, right? Then the LCD tube, then the LED tube. They have changes, and we have the better product nowadays. So this is the basically concept of thinking of in the design. So next definition we're talking about, design is not a decoration. That is, I have amazed at how often those outside the discipline of design assume that what designers do is decoration. No, this is not the decoration only. If this is a decoration, then we can say that it is a painting. So no, this is not the painting. That is the good design is problem solving. We have the problem and we want to solve with the help of design. So design is third example we're talking, third definition we are talking about. That is, the design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. That is the Steve Jobs. Everyone knows about this Apple phone, right? So they have developed the phone, so no one is competing till date. Whatever the security features they have created, right? What they know the better how this user are, and based upon this user answers, they have already created the product in such a way so that they capture, you can say that word in each and every country they have captured, and they are selling the product in throughout the world. So next definition is, design is not a product designer produce. Design is a process that designer facilitate. Everyone designs who devise courses of actions aimed at changing existing situations into preferred one. Always there is scope in design. Whatever you have the present situations, you can change it and you have the better product. Now we're talking about the design thinking. So designer don't try to search for a solutions until they have determined the real problem. And even then, instead of solving that problem, they start to consider a wide range of potential solutions. Only then they finally convert upon their solutions. So this process is called as design thinking. So in this way, I can say that is, all of you have understand what is the design thinking. So anyone have any doubt about the design thinking? Anyone please ask any questions about the design. Basically, this is the workshop, means more is the practical approach and less in the theoretical, so that you have the better understanding about the design thinking process. We'll have some different methods, tools and techniques we'll use here, and we'll try to solve the so many problems. So next is the, you can see here, next is the convergent and divergent thinking involved. In our human mind, what is happen? We have the brain in left side and right side brain, right? And both are interlinked, left side and right side. Left side brain is passing signal to the right side, and right side signal passing to the left side. But in the left side, you can see here, that is the thinking inwards. Whatever we're thinking, whatever we're storing, that is in the left brain. Whatever is sequencing, mathematics, some fact, logic, analysis we are doing, analytical method we are doing, that is comes under the left brain. And in our human also, left brain is controlling our right side, and right side brain is controlling our the left side, legs and head. Like this way we have the, and they are passing signals from the left side to the right side. So right side brain is more about the creative institutions, imagination, visualizations, arts. We are engaging both sides of brains in this the design thinking process. Left side, sometimes we need analysis systems, or sometimes we need the more creative. You can see here, then more creative we require, then we engage both sides of brain, either left side or right and right side brain. So this is the traditional product development. So in this you can see I have this taken a picture from this museum, one of the museum in Paris. So you can see there is a simple example of the cycle. There was I think more than the 30 cycles in different designs, and more than that is the year we're talking about, more than the 100 years. They have developed how this from single wheel cycle drive to the two wheels, and they are designed so many totally different design in the cycle. Some you can see here big wheels are there, then small wheels are there, big wheels and small wheels are there. Then we're talking about the wheel size is same, right? So they try different types of in a single product. They try different types of this design methodology and try to optimize the result, right, based upon the 100 years. Not only in a one go you can think and you can make a product. No, is it not possible? Whatever product is existing, suppose you have seen cycle in 30 design types, and you want to change. What we can alternate solutions? What we have the alternate solution based upon the existing product. So first you visualize the product, then think about the alternate solutions. In the cycle also you can see here that is the engine. In the engine installed in the front wheel drive of the cycles, so they run automatically with the help of this engine. So this is the all about the incremental delivery of the this product. We are changing only product method in a one product. Just we are increasing the functionality of the product. Basically, we are adding the features or functions in a product. So this is the traditional product development. So in this, we are talking about, if you are talking about in the design, you can see here, suppose if you remove the stand from the cycle, then what happens? Our design will fail. If you remove the stand from the cycles, what happens? So our design will fail. So we need to focus each and every component of the design, and we think about how much value is contributing this one component in the complete cycles. So you can find out how much contribution is there in this cycle. So in this way, you have to think each and every component of the existing product, so you can design in a better manner. So next is talking about the user-centric product development. Earlier one was the traditional development, right? Now based upon this digital transformation, everyone talking about this, the product we need, whatever product they want, their life cycle is totally, you can say that, villas. Earlier when we were talking about the example of the cycles, that is the cycles started from this research stage to the delivery stage. Still there is so many opportunities in the cycles, right? Here we are talking about, suppose just I'm giving the example of this transport systems. So in this earlier one we are using, what we are using, that is the bull cart. Everyone knows about, I think those who are staying in the village, have you seen this bull cart, right? But you cannot carry so much distance, right, with the help of this bull cart. Now we have the other options. You can use the cycles, but you cannot read too much load in the cycles, and you can cover more than maximum. You can say that is the 50 kilometers, right? After that, you have the other option in the transport. We want to fast reaching of the destination. So we have the developed the product that is the bike, right? So that we can cover 100 kilometers in a, you can say 10 hours, or you can say that is the 5 to 6 hours. We can cover the 100 kilometers. But still there is a problem in this bike. Then we have the car. So we have the more comfortable, right? We can carry a 300 kilometer, or we have to carry the luggage, or we have cover the so many distance with the help of this car. So this is the basically incremental delivery of value to the users. How we can change, how we can think about the users, and based upon this user, you create the product. Whatever thinking, what is the requirement from next 50 years, so you can notice what is required next 50 years, and you try to develop the products. So in the present scenario, so that you can capture the market, or you can capture your market in the world. So this is the user-centric product development. What is the demand of the customer? Based upon the demand of this customer, you try to deliver, or you try to make the new product. So this is the approach I'm comparing with the traditional development of the product. Now talking about the user-centric product development. So in this, how this design, based upon this design, that is the delivering competitive advantage through design. Based upon this design, Microsoft exists, and they capture the throughout this world. Another example, we're talking about the Xerox machines. They have also captured the throughout the world based upon this the design only. So what is the Microsoft? What did they did? They did whatever the product they develop. They try to distribute all the employee of this company, and they find out the feedback from the each and every individual, how we can improve the product, how we can change the design. So based upon this users need, they have already created the product, and they capture the whole market. Even though if we are using the 20 from last 20 years, we are using this Microsoft Word, PPT, so many things, right? But so many things is there, we don't know how to use them. In mobile also we are talking about so many features is there, we don't know how to use them. But company persons, they have already think about the features, what is required to the, what is we can deliver to the users. So it uses the design thinking to focus on developing products that answers users needs with management support. This focus on users experience is also influencing organizational structure and culture. This comes under the organizational structure in the Microsoft. Another example, we are talking about the Xerox machines. Those who have seen the Xerox machine, they are first machines, they are prepared just copying machines. You can copy the same pictures, and they try to print them. So in this way, they have making a design in such a way so that they have so many features in these machines. And based upon these features, they try to capture the complete market. And they already, they think they are there under the research and development stage, and they try to make a new product based upon this the previous technology they are using, and they are changing. They are always using this design thinking on his research and development. So what are the different ways of this thinking? That is the, we can say that is the reflective thinking. So this is the thought process that occurs after a situations or a learning process. So this is the thinking that allows people to make decision about how they would approach similar situations or create certain things in the future. So although reflective thought may occur in many places, reflection is written commentary where you must show your tutor how and what you have learned from your past learning experience to inform and improve your design practice in the future. So whatever you have learned, based upon this learning process, learning capability, you can take a decision. This is called as the reflective thinking. And next example, next definition is the critical thinking. So it is intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, and evaluating information gathered from observations, experience, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief and actions. So this is the critical thinking. So in this, I'm giving you the example, the skillfully. So everybody know in this how to make a, suppose I'm giving this example of this skill. So how to make a how to repair, suppose how to repair a tire in a car, everybody knows. But if you do just when you start doing this work, then you will get, that is a 1.5 hour, 2 hours, how to open the nut, how to fit the nut. You don't know because you don't have trained them to open and close this tire or repair this tire in a car, right? So that's why you are not able to do the work on time. So persons sitting in this roadside, they have doing this work in a only, you can say only 10 minutes. Within the 10 minutes time, they will just change the tire. So this is this types of skill is required in their thinking also. Whenever we have the product, we're talking about the product, means we should know the each and everything or background of this product so that you can imagine or you can increase your thinking or thought process. So analytical thinking is a step-by-step approach to break down complex problems or processes into their constituent parts, identify cause and effect pattern, and analyze problem to arrive to an appropriate solutions. So design thinking is in between this critical thinking and analytical thinking. We are adding both critical thinking and analytical thinking, and based upon this judgment, you can say that judgment should not be this bias. You can say that eliminate the judgment or bias or variations, right? And we try to incorporate the critical thinking process and analytical thinking. So now the perception of concept about the design thinking. So this is the perception of concept, means this perception 1 point, we can say that some persons, this is based upon the survey, some persons talking about this is a mindset. So design thinking is a posture and way of thinking. Point 2, you can say that the perception 2 is the user-centeredness, thinking human-centered by gaining empathy for users. Third point is the problem solving. This is a special method of understanding complex problem and solving creatively. The next point we're talking about organizing collaborations, a tool or way for better collaboration in teams across the discipline and organizational levels. And the next point is method or methodology. It is a holistic approach an organized approach which enables innovations. In this way, you can find out the innovative solutions. So next point is that talking iterative process. So iteration is a key concept in design thinking. Of course, search and synthesis is a key concept in the design thinking process. We have to do search more and more ideas, and then we can synthesize. So this is the key concept of the design thinking process. Then toolbox, we're talking about the collection of tools and techniques used for user research and group creativity. Prototyping, that is a rapid prototyping and testing. We can make some product and you can test them. Next, this is the culture. This is philosophy and culture. You can say that. Point 10, we're talking about the life cycle. That is the philosophy guiding behaviors in all aspects of life. Then next is a label to denote ways of working as certain designers do. So this is the synonyms for design thinking. You can see there is a 40 different names. They have conducted a survey of more than 300 people, and they try to synonyms to design thinking, and they can find out the different names of the design thinking. Sometimes they say ideation, sometimes they say human-centered innovation, sometimes they say this is a holistic approach, sometimes they say this is a customer experience designs, right? That is the creative work, that is this brainstorming, that is one of the tool in this design thinking, design capability, strategic design, right? That is the user experience design. So these all are the synonyms for design thinking based upon the customer or user's perceptions. So talking about this, the principle of design thinking, structure process, that is focusing on the users, that is use steps and method that are defined power is in the whole process, not individual steps. Scientific method, consider ideas to be hypothesis to be tested, not the different solution. Of course, suppose whatever idea you have in mind, either the idea should be realistic or not, you cannot judge them. This is the hypothesis solution, right? And you can test them. The hypothesis solution means we can say that this is the voice of the customer, and you can check them this voice of the customer based upon the sample size. You can take some any of the samples. Suppose in their opinion poll during these elections, you might have noticed this. That is the media is covering, and media is covering the some places on this country, and they try to give the output. That is the hypothesis basically. This is not the complete result. They have not complete the check the each and every person's, but they took group of people, right, and they asking some questions, or they have some that is objective questions, and they based upon this idea they try to make some give some solutions. So this is the hypothesis. So we need to test them. Hypothesis, we need to test them, and we can find out some conclusion. So next is the diverse teams. So diversity in terms of these roles to maximize the knowledge, perspectives, and connections of the team members. Then the demographic diversity, not as critical here. Means we are talking about not we need some only one group of persons, or persons should be mixed, or you can say that in any of the organizations, any of the industry, we have the different background, diverse background, and based upon this, you can choose. You can make a team and you can do some analysis. So benefits of this design thinking. So this is the formal process, provides a structure. It provides a strategy to those new to this approach. It supports collaboration among team members. Data-driven decision-making aligns team members' thinking process. Early focus on the understanding users. Allow teams to agree on the mission early. Provides a strong basis for later step in the process. Experimental approach of presenting idea as hypothesis. Reduce the risk and cost of failures. Reduce the cognitive biases. Allow for easier acceptance of failures. Diverse teams are better able to pivot as situations changes. They have a true understanding of the users, and diversity provides the breadth of knowledge and context needed. So this is the benefits of this design thinking process. So this is the Stanford design thinking process. First one is the empathy, second one is define, third is the ideate, fourth is the prototype, then fifth is the test. So in this phase, first in the empathy, what we have to do, if suppose you have the problem, then you can apply. If you don't have the problem, you go to the where is the problem is, you have to go and you have to think, you have to talk to users. Then based upon this idea, you can create or you can understand the problem. So in this phase, we have to understand the problem. Problem may be anywhere. Problem may be anywhere, industry, institute, anywhere in the country. You try to find out, you try to solve those problems. So you have to go there, you have to talk the persons who is handling the situations. So this is the empathy phase. In the define phase, now you know the problem, now you try to define the problem. What is the problem, right? So in this define phase, we can try to focus on the problem. First we understand the problem, then we focus on the problem. That is the definition phase. We have to define the problem. Third, we are talking about the ideate. In this ideate, we have to create, either you have to make some map, you have to make some mind map. There is a tool also, there is software also, mind map tool. You can design it, or you can do some brainstorming sessions, right? And you can generate the different types of idea, either in converging mode or in diverging mode, right? You have to think, or you have to edit your mind based upon your group. Then next, we have to based upon this ideate process. Then we have the prototype development. not try to make the product or try to make the solutions. Whatever you have understand, either product is, you can say that is the feasible or not feasible, it doesn't matter. But whatever you have idea come in your mind, you try to make them or try to come them into the conclusion. That is the prototype. You develop some prototypes, then you need to test them. The last step is the testing of the idea. Now you test them. How you can test them idea? So there is so many. Suppose you don't have the product. If you have the product, then you can do some process, right? Either mechanical testing or any types of testing is there. But suppose there is some solutions, then we have to think how we can test those solutions. Either test is feasible or not feasible, we have to test them. So after this testing process, you have the concrete solutions, and those solutions you can apply. So this is the test phase. So this is the 5 phases. We have to cover all these phases. Empathy phase. So first thing is you will try to make some empathy map, right? You can make some empathy map of any product, anything, any solutions, any problem, right? Then we define the problem. Then we have to ideate this mind mapping. Then we have to develop the prototype, and last stage is the test. We can test them. So some of the tools we use to test the idea also. So in this, design thinking is a non-linear process. That is the step is same. That is empathy phase, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So from this step you can see here, that is the test reveals the insight that redefine the problem. After the testing, you know there is some problem. After this feedback, now you want to change them. Again, you come to a problem definition. Again, you process, you do the step process. Either you have to test, create new ideas for the project. You come in the ideate phase, and again you try to make the changes. Then from this prototype, learn from this prototype to spark new idea. After doing, sometimes what happen, suppose we are doing some work, we are working on some project. After doing some work, then you have your thought process have some in your mind, you have come idea in your mind, and you try to implement them so that you have the next cycles, you have the better idea. So in this way you can try or you can modify your idea. This is what I do. This is what the definition page it was. That is the perception of concept was. That is the process is the iterative process. You can iterate so many ideas, right? This is the iterations of this process. So can anybody be a design thinker? Of course, anybody can be a design thinker. So a basketball player without talent will never be a Carmelo Anthony. I think all of you have heard his name. He was this Olympic winner on this basketball, right, in 2016. So if you want to beat them, then you have to think or you have to achieve the level so that you can beat the Carmelo Anthony. So for this, you have to do some hard work. You have to do some analyze the problem, right? You have to spend some time on thinking of this problem. Then you can do the process. So you cannot train everybody to be good at everything. And this is the human perceptions also. You cannot train everybody to be good at everything. Most people have one thing in what they were good in. Sometimes we make the mistakes of trying to take people and who don't have the necessary talent. They can improve the marginally, but our ability to change people's potential is relatively small. We cannot change the people's habit. When the technology come, I think all of you have know the example of the Tata. What they did, they terminated the employee in his company more than the 3 lakhs. When the computer come into the industry, when the computer come means that, but technology role is not to remove the persons in the systems, but we try to improve the capability. You can amplify the human capability with the help of this technology. You try to increase them. But in this scenario, but no one is trying to change their habits. So in this way, what we can do? Simply if you tell them the process or tell them the story, they will never observe. So you have to make some process. You have to make some group discussion. You have to make some this design thinking process, so that they will understand what is the problem and how we can change our habit, or how we can change our thinking process, or how we can change our behavior, how we can change our culture. They will try to adopt the situations. So this is the situations, and everybody, I can say, of course, everybody can be a design thinker. So some of the tools we're talking about in this design thinking, that is some of the tools talking about idea generations, and some of the tools we're talking about the idea evolutions. So first one is the idea generations, that is a good, bad, and ugly design. Then we have the knowledge funnels, difficulty important metrics, brainstorming, right? And then apart from this, that is the multi-voting, Pareto analysis, 5 why analysis, cause and effect diagram, proof analysis. Then apart from this, there are more analysis there, that is Delphi method. Then the failure mode effect analysis, you can check your idea in a project. Then there is a trick analysis is there also. Then the nominal group thinking techniques is also there. There are so many, apart from this, so many thinking is also there. You can try, or you can evaluate your idea. First you need to generate, then you need to evaluate your idea. In this, that is the Six Sigma approach, also you can use it in the discrete type process. Here is not data, you can say, see the sample size is not the continuous, either you can check yes or no. In this you can also apply to the Six Sigma tools. So this is a good, bad, and ugly design. So whatever, where you are sitting in your places, you try to improve the places, right? So what you can do, the first step, so try to, in your, this is not only this theory lecture, so it is better to do, you write on your notebook. Try to increase your imagination capability. Those, I am audible? I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what you can do, whenever you are sitting here, you note down, right? I am giving the 2 minutes, right, time, and you note down what are the idea in come in your mind. Just to any of this, whatever physical object is near about, you try to note down, and you can see what are those items, and you note down your notebook. So this is a method to try to increase your imagination power. So first is the step, is the empathy phase. You can see here, I'm giving the example, and you can note down in your notebook. So in this page, what we can do, I'll give the example. So that is the first is the empathy phase. What you can do, you have the times, here is time is 20 minutes, you take the 2 minutes times, and you try to take any of this picture in your phone, right? And you see the picture is good or bad or ugly, and use your thumb in each picture to indicate which category it fits. So like this way, you can note down the any of the idea or any of the solutions, right? Then you can find out the solution. So you note down the idea in your notebook. So in the second step, what we did, that is the define. Now we want to define the problem. So analyze your image. You think about your image, right? And you see what pattern emerges. Are there more good, bad, or ugly photo? What opportunity do you see in this bad, right, or ugly areas? Like this way, you can define the problem. Then third step is the ideate. In this, you can choose one of the opportunity you identify, and then brainstorm all the possible solutions with your teams. Now, first you do the empathize phase, then you define the problem based upon your picture, right? Now you are talking about the group discussions, and you do the mind mapping, right? And embrace will and wiki ideas. List as many possibilities as possible. Choose your best solution and create a quick sketch and study it for the group. Then next is a prototype development. In this page, what we can do, whatever you have pictures in your mind, you can think what you have achieved with those pictures, either bad or good pictures. What opportunity did you identify? You can find out. How might we address the opportunity? Create a sketch of your best idea. Whatever the best idea you have picture, whatever in your surroundings, you can take them. That is the prototype solution. Then test. How else might you use the good, bad, or ugly activity? What skills and content did you cover today? Right? What role does technology play? We are talking about this technology integration. With the help of your smartphone, you have taken this picture. So you are incorporating the technology to train them, or you can visualize the emission process, right? How is this role distinct from the simple notions of this technology integrations? So in this way, you can create your idea, right? Now we have the knowledge funnel. Whatever you have this defined by this book, that is the design by this Roger L. Martin, right? So in this you can see here, whatever you have noted in your idea, in any problem in your room or in your institute, then the problem is not defined. Problem is vague, not clear. So this is the mystery stage. And second step, that is if you want to do this heuristic phase, what you can do at the process is you will try to make the similar idea, and you can make them the suppose, for example, in the mechanical term, you can say that it's a group technology. You can make the idea which is similar, like this way, come under the heuristic phase. And third, we have the algorithm. You try to separate the different idea either in one category or second category or third category, so you have the better understanding of the project, better understanding of the product. So this is this developed by this knowledge funnel to try to clear your idea. So then next is the difficulty importance matrix. So in this problem, that is a selection of the, suppose I have given example that is the bread toasting items for domestic use. So in this, we have the goal to prioritize a list of items and understand their relevance to your project and prioritizing a list of potential features. So how you can prioritize your list of potential features? So create your grid and feature list. So I have here created a grid box. In this grid box, you can see in the x-axis horizontal line, you have I have mentioned that the least important, importance, and most important. Then in the vertical side, y-axis, you can see a least difficult, difficulty, and most important. So first we have created the grid lines and features lines. This is a better way to try to do the practice on this session so that it will better to understand. So now we talk about the prioritize items by importance. So whatever idea come in your mind, what we can do, suppose we have to think whatever you have to choose. That is the suppose in the case of this bread toasting, we have taken 3, 4, 6 idea. For example, we want even toasting of the bread. Second, we need talking about the good taste. Third one, we have can say that product should be reliable. No maintenance is required in the machines. Then the product should be good looking or attractive. Next, you are talking about always everyone is talking about the less cost. So in this case also we have everyone what users want, they want the cheap and best project, low cost with the more features, right? Low cost with the more features. So how we can do this low cost and more features? So we can prioritize the items now, and we have the next matrix. First we need to create the idea. So we have created here, and we try to prioritize the importance, which idea you can give the more importance or more weightage to this. So in this way you can prioritize your idea by the importance. So next we are talking about this evaluate phase. So in this evaluate phase, whatever idea I have taken, whatever idea come in my mind, either feasible or not feasible, I'm not talking. just you try to evaluate the difficulty level. So in this way, you can select those idea, right, in the quadrant. I suppose I'm choosing here attractive. We need the more products would be more attractive. This is my idea. For case in the case of example of this mobile phone, we're talking about phone should be more attractive. Or features is the main important. Sometimes we're talking about the good looking. So here we choose here attractive. Then second we're talking about good taste is very important, but it is very difficult to achieve the good taste, right? So in the bread toasting, what are the so many factors? We're talking about this temperature or time or whatever it is, right? Method, whatever it is, that is going to affect the output. So that is the good taste is very important in this case. Suppose next is that we're talking about the event toasting. Here is the more difficult is the event toasting. Next is difficulty we're talking about the maintenance. Our products should be reliable, we're talking about reliability or low cost. So in this way, you can, whatever idea came in your mind, you evaluate the difficulty level. And next is the identify the quadrants. So in this, you can see here, we have the 4 quadrants and you try to, wants to have, suppose event toasting wants to have or need to have of this high value or low value, you can, in this way, you can make some quadrant and you can find out the, you can give your own judgment to, for this, you can say better solutions. Either you do the group discussions or individual discussions or online discussions you can do and you can find out the solutions. So this is the basically difficulty importance matrix. This is the process used to generate the idea on any of the problem. So next, this is the part of this ideate phase. That is the third phase we are talking about after definition. That is the we have to ideate. So in this ideate phase, we are talking about the brainstorming. So in this brainstorming session, that is a round robin. So it is a tool. I think all of you have know this brainstorming, right? The process. It is a tool used at the initial steps or during the analysis phase of a project. It is a group discussion that consists of including a voluntary generation of a large volume of creative, new, not necessarily traditional idea by all the participants. They can be organized for the purpose of finding root cause of the problem and suggest the palliatives. Means in this brainstorming, whatever idea you can discuss, you can note down in the notebook. So in this, suppose we have the idea 1, 2, 3, 4 number of ideas there. So you can think that is the checklist. Does it meet the objective? Whatever you are thinking, that is the objective, matching with the objective. Does it solve the problem? Does it introduce the new problems? Will it fit in our current systems? Can it accommodate the growth? So like this way, you can note down the idea and try to find out, try to meeting your objectives. So this is the one of this method, that is the brainstorming sessions. Then next we are talking about the brainstorming using the De Bono 6 thinking hats. So in this round robin, there may be problem, or you can there is chances each and every participant may not participate during the group discussions. There is one problem maybe there in the round robin. And the next you can say that there is a chances of some biasing situations. There is chances of this group argument. So these things you can avoid in this 6 hat techniques. So what is this 6 hat techniques? Dr. Edward De Bono developed a techniques for helping teams stay focused on creative problem solving by avoiding negativity and group arguments. Using this technique, a group can evaluate an idea and argue both the positive and negative while remaining as objective as possible. They can judge the positive method and negative method and they can try to come on the objectives only. So this is the what they did in this process. There is a 6 hats. We're talking about white hat, 1%, red hat, then black hat, and yellow hat, green hat, and blue hat. So in this white hat is neutral. Whatever the information they have, they try to give the information, and so everybody understand the problem. First one we're talking about in the neutral phase. So this is the first white step, getting thinking of this white paper, whatever information you have, what do you know, what information do you want, what do we need, you can have in the one page. Then second, we're talking about the red head, that is the fire or one. You have some feeling, you have emotions, you have institutions, you have hunch. So after first person is speaking, whatever is the next step is the some person have to speak about the emotions, feeling, or any of the hunches or the problem. They have to add in this induce their own intuition into the problem. So next is the black hat, means cautions. We're talking about the legality, judgment, morality. So in there is not happen, and this case is not happening. You can say that in the brainstorming by the Don Robin. So in this we have defined. You have to speak. You have to think. You have to do this judgment or morality. Then next is a yellow hat. That is sunshine. Either you have to do positive or optimism or benefits. You have to add of your problem. Then we are talking about the green hat. That is the growth, new idea, option, and opportunity. The next is the blue hat, sky. That is the overview, control of the process, agenda, action plan, and conclusion. Last is the conclusion. So in these steps, what we have, you can, it is the better option to do by your, in your group. Then you can come some conclusion. So in this way, every persons have an opportunity to discuss and give their opinion so that we have the better solutions of your problem. So this is the brainstorming de Bono 6 thinking hat. Then the multi-voting option is there. When to use this multi-voting? When the group had a long list of possibility. This is the idea evolution process. Earlier one was the idea generation process. So in this, when the group has a long list of possibilities and wants to narrow it down to a few for analysis and discussions, and or when a selection process needs to be made after brainstorming. So guidelines for conducting the multi-voting activity, that is the brainstorm a list of options. Then review the list from the brainstorming activity. Then participant vote for the idea that are worthy for further discussions. Identify items for next round of votings. Then the vote again. Discuss remaining idea. Proceed with the appropriate actions. So these are the steps we are doing during the brainstorming session. So this is the activity chart, multiple voting activity chart. So in this we have the items, any things we can add here, and here is the number of support. So suppose we do this, have a meeting agenda, we have problem, have a meeting agenda, we can say is, then we can add. Sometimes what happens, you can notice there is some of the problems, some of the agenda is not there, then no need to discuss. Then inform participants why they have to attend meeting. No one is voting, only 2% is voting. Have someone take notes at this meeting, only 1% is voting. Then in this way we can remove the idea. Have a clear meeting objective, then we can remove. Reduce the number of topics to be discussed at each meeting, only one. Then we can remove this. And start and end meetings on time is, so everyone was voted, so there are 6 votes. So we can consider only 2 ideas. Have a meeting agenda and start and end meetings on time. So in this way you can do the multi-voting activity. So based upon this multi-voting activity, now we can analyze the problem. Suppose we have the this Pareto analysis. We can analyze and we can see, you can see your chart. So in this Pareto analysis, I think all of you have the idea, then how you can use this Pareto analysis for this design thinking problem. We have tried to solve the problem here with the help of this Pareto analysis. So first we'll understand this Pareto analysis. So Pareto analysis is a statistical techniques in decision making used for the selections of a limited numbers of tasks that produce significant overall effect. 80% of this problem can solve with only 20% of the resources. The other 80% of the resources being needed to cater for what may be considered inconsequential factors. So based upon this Pareto analysis, we can cover 80% of the problem with the help of only 20% with the of the resources. So any of the design problem is there, whatever problem is there, you have a solution within your institute, within your area, within your surrounding, within your company, right? But main thing is you have to focus those 20% of these resources. So already Pareto has given so many examples on this, and they try to optimize the result, and the result is very authentic. That is the 80% of the problem we can solve only the 20% of this resources. Only we have to think of the 20% beyond these resources, then we have to think those 20%. So in this design session, just I have made one example here. That is design selections. We have suppose we have this 5 designs: design A, design B, design C, design E, and we have the multi-voting options. Based upon this multi-voting, you can vote them, and based upon this multi-voting, you can plot your Pareto diagram. So based upon this Pareto diagram, you can see which factor is going to most affect. Suppose here is the D and design B is giving more effect to this design, right? More giving attention on this design D and design B. So this is the multi-voting, this is percentage, and this is the cumulative percentage. You can draw with this 100% diagram. So in this way, you can find out which 20% is going to affect more, and what factors is going to we have to remove. I suppose you can remove here design A, design C, and design E, and you can consider only this 20%. Either you can this design D or design B out of this 5 options. You can, in this way, you can select the design. So this is about the Pareto analysis. Then this is the 5 why analysis. That is the 5 why technique is a simple and effective tool for solving problems. So its primary goal is to find the exact root cause of a given problem by asking a sequence of 5 questions. So this is the 20 questions. Each and every group member may ask one question, that is what is being done, why it is necessary, what else could be done, what else should be done. So like this way you have to ask questions in what. Then next is the where is it being done, why there, where else could it be done, where else should it be done, right? There is options. Then next is the when it is done, why then, when then else could be done, when else should it be done, who does it, why this person's or group, who else could do it, who else should it do it. The next is the how is it done, why, how this way, and how else could it be done, how else should it be done. So like this way you can ask questions and try to understand the problem, right? With this help of this is the 5 why analysis. With the help of asking the questions in a group discussions, you have the better idea. You have the questions and you have the answers or understanding, so that you can improve your solutions. So this is the 5 why analysis. Then next we're talking about the cause and effect diagram. Whatever problem is there, now you have the problem, you know the problem. Then you have to think what are the factors going to affect this output. In the case of, suppose I have taken here in this bread toasting machines. So we should know, you should know about the what are the factors going to affect. We plot in diagram in this Minitab. So you can see here how you can plot this diagram, cause effect diagram in the Minitab. So we have to come to the, first we make the worksheet. Here we can note down the problem, but you can note down the causes, and you can, what are the outputs, physical outputs, you can note down this. So what are the inputs, you can note down here, and you come on the state tab. Then we have, you can choose the quality tool, and then we can draw the cause and effect diagram. Similarly, we have drawn this Pareto chart. Like this way you can use. Sometimes you have to draw the control chart also. This is the data, depending upon data at the variable or discrete, whatever plot is there, you can choose it. So suppose we have that, we don't have any continuous types of sample size in this case of this discrete analysis, then you can plot this histogram also, box plot also, then this Pareto charts. So these types of charts you can draw to understand the better meaning, or you can say you can represent your data so that you have the better understanding on the project. So next is the this is we have drawn here, that is a cause and effect diagram. So you can see in this cause and effect diagram, we know the different types of the input parameter. First is the cause, then the input parameter we have selected here, good toast quality. Maybe good or not, I don't know, but we have tried to solve the problem. Like this way, you have the factors. So where is, what are the factors going to affect? Suppose you have mentioned here, easy to use, long life, good toast quality, capacity, physical attributes, temperatures, right? Either high or low. What are the factors? And output is the toaster selection problem. We have to select which toaster is better. So like this way, you have to know the input parameters, input factors, and based upon this input, you can draw the diagram. So this is a better representation. And after that, there is analysis also. We are not come here in the analysis. Just I am showing the method, the cause and effect diagram. So next we are talking about, that is the proof analysis. So in this, the one is a scientist, Stuart Pope, that is a well-known inventor in the field of this product development and design, created a methodical techniques that help identify the most probable solutions among all alternatives. So this system method is called the proof matrix. So in this proof matrix, suppose we have the benchmark solutions, one solutions, you can, from where you can compare, you have one solution. So suppose this is the baseline, we have the datum solutions, and based upon these datum solutions, you can say that what are the alternative solution is there. You can try to find out those alternative solutions. Here is alternative 1, alternative 2, and alternative 3, and what are, you can compare with the benchmarking. Whatever the solutions, you can say that whatever the problems is there in your mind, you can compare or you can find out the alternate solutions. So this is the proof analysis there. So in this we have a selection of this feasibility, cost, or long-term benefit, or maintainability, or availability of resources, right? Then we have this. So next step, I will show you how we can do this proof analysis in the. So how to create a proof matrix is first, then construct a proof matrix already was shown. In this way, you can create a proof matrix, then create criteria to assess the probable enhancement solutions. You have to know the criteria. In the cause and effect diagram, we know what are the input parameters there, what are the selection criteria is there. You can assess based upon your selection criteria. Third point is the using comparative significance along scores for every criteria. Now you can give the importance to each and every criteria. Then the determine all possible concept solutions. What are the determine the possible solutions, right? Then weigh up how sound the potential solutions carry out on every criterion and mark scores. Combines scores of each alternative. Combines scores of each alternative. You can compare all 3, 4, or more than 10, 20 results, right? And you can compare and you can remove them. So in this way, you can iterate the process. So choose the best alternative with the most combined scores. So problem is the selection of this bread toaster testing methods for this domestic use, and we have these 4 different types of toasting machines. You can say that is the 4-slot electric toaster, toasting fork and fire, electric conveyors, then gas grill. And now we want to compare. So first of all, we have to make any of the benchmark. Which process, which one we have to do the benchmarking. You can do the comparing, right? You have to choose any one of this benchmark item, then you can compare, then you can find out the alternate solutions. So what are the factors? Factor is the primary factors and secondary factors. So primary factor is the good toast quality, right? And secondary factor we're talking about even toasting. We need then good taste, repeatable, quick, right? Then the second, the high capacity, then large range of this bread product, multiple slashes in units. Then long life, reliable, durable, low maintenance. Secondary, physical attributes, that is the affordable, attractive, safe, and good size. Then easy to use controls, easy to load, easy to remove the tools. Any of the factor you can select based upon your problem, right? We have the primary factors and we have the interlink with the secondary factors. So now initial proof matrix for this toaster selection problem. You can see this is, we have the design this is the selection criteria. Here is the design concept, right? What is the design concept? Electric force law, toasting fork and fire, then electric conveyors, then gas grill. These are the design concept. What are the primary factors? Already discussed. Easy to use, physical attributes, long life capacity, and the good toast quality. What is the selection criteria? That's even toasting, wood toast, repeatable, quick, large range of bread products, multiple slices, reliable, durable, low maintenance, affordable, attractive, safe, good size, easy to use, easy to control, and easy to load, and easy to remove the toast. So there is a total plus, total minus, total score, and the weighted score. In the next diagram, you can see. So what we can do, we have benchmarked this for electric force slot is the benchmarking. So in this benchmarking, either you put the 0 or you can put the S meaning same as compared to this other one. This is the same, or you can put the 0. So like this way you can do the this importance. Just wait a minute. So in the next table, now I have filled, you have defined a criteria, means negative. This double minus means one dash, it means negative, right? And positive means better options. So either you can select the criteria, either negative, low value, or double minus means very much poor. Then single plus is positive value, and double positive means you can see that better options. So in this way, we have, you can classify the solutions. So in this way, what we are doing, that is the toasting the fork life. Here suppose even toasting is not good, we put the double minus. Then the good taste, okay, we receive the good taste, so we do the double positive. So like this way, you can identify the column. Each and every column you can fill them, right? Similarly for this electric conveyors, you can fill them. S means same. If you are comparing this force slot is same in the electric conveyor also, so we can put the S, or you can put the 0. Then for the similarly for this gas grill, now we can count the total plus. So how much total plus is there? You can count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8, we can mention here 8. Total negative you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This somewhere in mistake, that is in the 18th. So we can count 18. Now similarly for this another problem, electric conveyor and gas grill, you can see here 8, 18, then 4, 6, 4, 8. So in this way, you can, what is the total score? You can this plus minus, then that is the 18 minus 8, sorry, this is 10. That is or I think here is a 16. I think this is the right, and this is the wrong. Here is the 16. So here is the 8. Then here is this 4 to this 6 minus 4, you can see minus 2, and here is the gas grill, you can 8 minus 4, that is the minus 4. So in this way you can compare. So there is a more negative in this toasting fork and fire. Minus 2 means that is a comparable as compared to this electric force slot, and you can see the gas grill is minus 4. You can compare, and you can emulate the one idea, that is the toasting fork line. You can emulate. In this way you can emulate the solutions. So now what we can do, this weightage criteria. Now we are giving the weightage to each and every secondary parameters, and we can find out this weight, and we can this calculate the total weight. So in this way, what we are doing, this even toasting is here. Suppose we are giving the 2 weight. Here is the out of this 5, this you have rank 3. repeatable is 3, quick is 3. Like this way you can give them weight by your own, right? Otherwise, there is a method to weight. How you can decide those factors in weight? That is the alternate method is there also. So easy to use the controls. Now we have given the 5. So like this way, you can provide the weightage to the secondary factors. And now you calculate with the help of the weight to the plus. So you can plus here 3 plus in a 4, like this way. There 4 plus 4, like this way you can add how much weight is there, and you can total mention here. So in this case we removed 1. So now we have the total score, like then weighted total score we have calculated like this way. With multiply this, adding the weight here, you can find out the 15 here. Then total negative is 17, right? Total weight is 17, and in this case there is total weight negative is the 32. Then we can add the solutions. Then you can find out there are 17 minus 15 is 2. Here is the 15. So in this way, if you're adding the weight, then you can remove the solution, that is the gas grill. We have to remove. So we can remove this gas grill solutions. Then we can compare only 2. That is electric force lot or electric conveyor. So in this way, you can find out the better or alternative solutions. When you have the 4 different types of or different types of idea or product, you can compare them. So like this way, you can use the proof matrix analysis. So now we are coming to the when not to run a design thinking. Suppose we have, you are trying to cover all aspects of a very complex product or service at once, right? Suppose we have, in this way you can find out, suppose there is a, in the previous month, you can notice there is a problem of this flight crash in the I think the airport in Kerala, Kozhikode or somewhere place, right? So now we have to find out what is the problem and how you can cover them. So there are so many factors is going to involve in this. So better way, if you want to do this design thinking analysis, then you can find out, you can divide the problem in a different task or different project. In a one project, in a complex project, you cannot, it is very difficult to find the solutions. So like this way, you have the big problem, then you can make a problem in a group wise, and you can find the solutions of those group, those tasks or those projects. So you want to explore the multiple use cases and hypotheses, of course, because in this case we have the more hypothesis result is there. So testing of this hypothesis is also very, you can consider not realistic, right? We are talking about only group of the peoples, that is the voice of the customer, and based upon this voice of the customer, you are trying to give the result, or you can apply the Six Sigma tools, right, to find out the solutions. So it is better way to make some, explore more types of these hypothesis cases. Sometimes other do the chi-square or this 2 simple problems. Like this way in the Six Sigma there. Those who have do know in the mechanical background, they know better. So in this way, you want to explore the multiple use cases and hypothesis. So you want understand or can't articulate the problem you are trying to solve. If you don't understand the problem, then it is very difficult to find out what are the factors going to affect. So in this way, you need to better understand the problem. You should know each and every factor. Then you should know what are the purpose, what are the functionality, what are the outputs is there, what are you can say that what are those factors is going to involve your project. You need to understand the product first, then you can try to solve then you can use the design thinking process. If you already know what is the solution or what to build, right? If you know if the solution is already clear, then no need to run the design thinking process, right? You are looking for just a small improvement to your product or service. If you want, you can know the better, just only add the one functionality, then no need to add, or no need to make a group discussions, right, or brainstorming on the service product. There is no clear plan or support to execute the sprint outcome. If no idea is not clear, your problem is not clear, then you cannot run the design thinking process. So suppose we want to incorporate this design thinking in your organizations. So basically, the design thinking is not a new term. This is very old term. But we can say that in the 2007 onwards, the people are talking about in the University of this Stanford or this so many Denmark University, so many universities there, Cambridge University is there. So they people are trying to thinking about the design thinking, and they try to change the problem with the help of this design thinking process. So in India also in the 2012 onwards, the ministry, government of India, they are also trying to set up the design innovation centers, and they try to focus this each and everywhere. Suppose they have I think the 20 institute they have covered, and all these 20 institute having there is 3 or 4 different institute they have the link with, and so in this way they have covered the more than the 100 institute, and they try to make they try to establish the design innovation centers, and based upon this the centers they try to conduct so many workshop, or you can have the product development, and you can have the different types of process you can do in your center. So based upon this, government is also motivating to develop the design innovator center. Atal Academy is also one of the part. They are also connecting so many this design thinking process. So how we can adopt this design thinking in our organization? So this is the 4 diagram we have taken here. So first of all is anywhere in the periphery you have to choose the design thinking process, either by conducting this workshop or attending the workshop or thinking on this solutions, right? So this is the one option is come under the periphery in the institute. Though in this somewhere in this now if you have know about the term design thinking, then we are talking about how you can adopt this design thinking. So some part of this faculty members, you can say that, or management or staff or student, whosoever is there, they have to attend the training on the design thinking. So most better option is to attend the training on the design thinking, so that you can increase your imagination power or visualization capability. So third step, you can say that is the core. That is now you have to train the management in your organizations. Once you have trained the management in your organization, so they try to enforce the design thinking process in the complete institute or organizations or company. So like this way, you have these 4 basic steps to adopt the design thinking in your organizations or company or industry, whosoever they are. You can try to focus on, and you can adopt the design thinking. So that is the very important tool. I think nowadays people are talking about the innovative product development, because we are reducing the product life cycle and we are changing daily by daily. You can say in the software also, you might have noticed that every 3 months or 4 months there is software, this different softwares, right? We are using the phone, so the changing, there are so many versions in a year. So like this way in the Microsoft also, they are adding the so many features day by day. So in this way, we have the less products, this product life, and we are coming under the because that is the digital transformation. And you can also do this digital transformation by the help of this design thinking process. So in this, we have this reference we have taken, and now I have to thank you all for listening this session. So any question, please? Any question, please? I think there is
Yes, dear.
this. So I have not checked the message, so just I'm checking. Yeah, this is that is the Rahul asking this. How important is it to literally represent a problem in the design thinking? So this is the problem. So what is our human brain is to see, if you see the product, right, that is the better understanding as compared to the listening just, right? So if you draw some diagram, so you have the better idea of this understanding, right? What is the basic things? What are the problems there? Suppose I am talking about this paperweight, simple paperweight. You can see here, right? If I try to explain this paperweight, you will never understand what the shape is and how this image is inside the paper weight. So better way is that if you draw the picture, then you have the clear path. How it is happening, how the functionality is there. You can see after the seeing this product, you can find out the more better solutions. So I think only one question is there. Any other questions you may ask? There is 3-4 more methods there I have not covered today. So there is the failure mode effect analysis. In this failure mode effect analysis, what you can do, you can find out, you can check whatever idea you have chosen, is it okay or not. If there may be chances of this failure of your product, then what happened? So before this, you have to make some preventive measures. So in this, you can do this FMA analysis. Then there is a treat analysis. Some of the speakers I know they will discuss about the treat analysis. So another one, we have this normal group techniques is also there. In this way, that is the you can find out already they have applied in this voting options in the ministry or somewhere is voting is there. They already applied the nominal group techniques. So there is only 3-4 options there. Some plots is also there. I have not covered here. So with this, I would like to thank you. Any questions, please?
Yes, dear participants, you can directly ask any questions if you want, or interaction or.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes.
Navateja. My name is Navateja. Sir, I have a small request, sir. Sir, I'm teaching this semester. I'm teaching this subject for my students, and whatever the topics you taught us today in this session are part of second unit. I have to teach my students actually as it is actually the same content. Sir, can you suggest me a good textbook for these contents, sir?
Yeah, that is the design thinking books I have in the mentioned the reference. I will seen in the reference.
Sorry, sir,
These are the very good book. That is, I have already read this book. That is evaluating the impact of design thinking in actions. Right? Is how this design thinking transform the organizations and inspire the innovations by this Tim Brown. Very good book is there. The design thinking tools kit for managers.
Sir, can you please zoom the slide, sir, please, sir?
Okay. These are the books you see.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That is the book is freely available. You can download from the internet. I have also downloaded and read the book. There is very good book. Very good example is there. In a 1 hour lecture, it is very difficult to. This is very good option to do the practice.
Okay, sir.
I have conducted this session and I have given the problem to the student. So student know very well.
Okay,
and
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So Rahul is asking several tools repeated in your PPT overlap the Six Sigma and Lean tools. Is it fair to assume that design thinking is used to best for new product creation as opposed to the achieving the incremental improvement? Yeah. Six Sigma tool you can apply also on the design thinking. You can refer the book and you can see. Suppose you have the alternate solutions or alternate options, alternate product, then you have to apply the Six Sigma, right? Or Lean tool. This is also one of the part of the Six Sigma. You can see I have already used this mini tab, right, to draw the Pareto analysis, or you can see that is the cause and effect diagram, or you can do this chi-square test. So many tests you can do. Also, we can do in the Six Sigma. Same thing we can also apply for the testing your idea also. This is basically what.
So the question predominantly was with reference to the fact that a lot of these tools are sort of overlap across applications. When do we conclusively conclude that a project or a product has been designed exclusively using the design thinking methodology, given that a lot of these tools, overlap? So that's where I was coming from.
No. This is a tool. What we are doing in the Six Sigma, we are taking any of the example from the industry. That is the, sometimes we have the sample size with the continuous data, or sometimes we have the discrete data. Of course, what we are doing, this discrete data, we are applying the Six Sigma. Same thing here in the case of design thinking. We don't have the any complete data, so that is the hypothesis basically, right? So in this hypothesis, what we can do, we are talking about the voice of the customer. So we have to check the proportions, right? So what of the in this what are the proportion in this? You can select any of the team, or the team member of 5 to 6. That is the documented in this. Either you can check the 5 to 6 team members, and you had whatever idea in their mind, either feasible or not feasible. We don't bother about this, right? But we have to check. But we have to check the solutions. So in this way, we have to apply the Six Sigma to check the solutions or check the alternate methods. Of course, we can use this Minitab for this design thinking also. You read this book, so many books they have referred the Pareto chart, this the cause and effect diagram, this puff analysis, everything they have already mentioned in the design thinking book also. This is the part. This is not the different from this, right? 5 methods, you know. That is the empathize, this define the problem, then ideate phase, and the prototype development, and the test. These 5 are the basic things, right? From this ideate phase, you have do the different types of idea generation. Then how we can generate the idea? No one can find out how we can generate the idea. We have to do some activity. Based upon this activity, you can think on the product or problem, right? So then idea came in your mind. Whenever idea came in your mind, then you have to evaluate the idea. So idea generation and idea evaluation, both are very important in the design thinking. So based upon this idea evaluation and idea generation, you can find out the best solutions. So what we are thinking in the design thinking, we are finding the best solutions. What are the best opportunity we can find out? So we have to check with the help of Six Sigma tools. So next question, you are talking about what are the benefits of this empathize phase in the entire process. So what is the empathize phase is basically, you have to understand the users, right? So you know how to understand the user. So better options is you go to the users, you talk to them, right? You discuss the problem, then you can understand the problem, right? So this is the important phase for understanding the problem. Whatever I have covered, the different types of tools in idea generations, right? First, you understand the problem. So empathize phase is very important to understand the problem first. Then second step, we are talking about define. We no need to add any this Six Sigma tool. Whenever we are talking about the idea ideate process, then how you can do the ideate. So in this, main important thing is the everyone had the problem in life. Every person's everywhere, you know the problem. The main thing is how to ideate the problem. So for those steps, step number 3, for editing the problem, you need to cover this. Whatever I have covered the Six Sigma process. Okay too, Mr. Rahul?
I think he is satisfied our answer.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thanks for being with us, and I again thank you to Dr. Pawan Rakesh sir to give a nice, wonderful talk on design thinking methodology. And
okay, thank you,
I think
sir.
there is some. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dear participants, we will meet at 1:30 p.m. sharp. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.